you are not who you are. You are who you're practicing to be.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of Off the Mat. My name is Josh Dumoulin, and this is...
Nicole Stratichuk.
And...
Nicole Dumoulin.
I've got two people with me right now. I've got Nicole Stratichuk and Nicole Dumoulin. There's three of us, you can't tell.
We're in transition mode here.
That can mean a lot of things. But
Oh no.
well,
Not...
So,
is this live? Should we start over?
No, this is perfect. How you doing today?
I am great. It's Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Early dismissal for the kids.
Yeah.
Which is your problem, not mine.
Yeah, and depending on where you're watching from too. Of course, like a lot of people watching from like back home and stuff like that in Canada, like our kids are back to school right now. So that
first Friday, and I didn't mean it like they're your problem. It's just our work schedules on Friday. We kind of Friday's kind of like boys' afternoon. So the boys get to hang out this afternoon, and I get working, and that's how we go.
But that's like one of my kind of favorite parts of our Friday.
And then it's exciting because tonight we have a pool party at our place, so with Riders baseball team, so it's a fun day. It's going to be a great day.
No, it's like and they're back in school now. They just started on Tuesday, which is kind of weird. Not really, because they still got 8 weeks of summer. They still just had a normal like break and everything. It's the way it was shifted. For my entire time going to school, the entire time we've had Ryder, of course, in school, and just teaching, Taekwondo for how many years. I've been working with kids for so long, and July and August, like that's summer. Yeah. So it was just weird that May 28th or 9th was their last day?
No, it was like May 22nd.
Oh, geez, shoot. Okay.
Yeah, and then they went back to school July 22nd. So it was exactly 8 weeks.
Yeah, it's the same amount of time. It was just the way it was shifted back. So I think even he felt it a little bit, but mostly just because he would chat with friends, right? And he'd chat with those friends back home. And he's kind of like, I got to go back to school. And they're like, we just kind of got out like a couple weeks ago. Yeah,
it was kind of funny because like when Ryder was out of school and he's trying to chat with his friends, they're in school. So he's got not no one, but his friends in Canada, they're busy at school, right? And then they had this like 2-week stint when they were all off school. Yep. And so there was a lot of chatting going on back and forth, I know. And now it's like, now Ryder's back to school. Yep. And I can see the messages. So I see that they're trying to message him while he's at school. But anyway, it's all good.
Yeah. No, it is. It is. It is nice to have him back in. In some ways, it's not. I'm happy they've got some, not even routine, because we had a okay routine over the summer. We had good stuff we were doing and trying to stay occupied, but sometimes it is always tough, just kind of like trying to be there presently for them and still work on certain other things that we're doing. So that was always a little tough, and so it's nice for them to go back, but I'll admit, like, it was tough for me, probably tougher for me than you.
Yeah, and then now that they're back in school, like, it's good this week, but you start to feel it next week or in the next coming weeks that it is busy, right? And we have to be this place and that place and on time, so it gets to be a lot, but right now it's good just to have more of a routine and able to like go back to normal schedule, even though it'll start to get a bit, but then we'll get fall break, so it'll be fine.
When is fall break? Must be around that October, because that's when we moved here. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's 2 weeks?
Yep.
Jeez, okay.
So they get 2 weeks in October, 2 weeks at Christmas, and then 2 weeks in the spring.
Seems like a lot.
Yeah. But it's just less spread out. Like, I feel like in Canada, like back home, there's, you get more little days off here and there. Whereas like here, you don't.
Right.
Like, we don't get all those little days off. We just get those 2-week breaks at a time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do they call them PD days here?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, because I think I've used that term and people look at me like I'm crazy.
They're like, what's a PD day?
Not only that, there's a lot of things that I say that, they don't know what I'm saying.
That's no different than back home, though.
Sure.
So, anyway, What are we doing? Off the Mat Podcasts. Welcome back. We're doing this thing.
Yep.
We're back. It was so cool because the last episode that we just recorded just got released this week. So it was nice to see it pop back up. And I hope people listen and I hope people enjoy it. So we're back again for another episode. What are we talking about today?
Well, I just kind of figured because we finished talking about consistency in the last episode, and because we're wrapping up that life skill with champions, with Move, we're doing unbreakable focus, but back home we did consistency. So that's what our last episode was all about consistency and how to develop it. We talked a lot about the 21-day challenge that we gave everybody for that life skill. And I just kind of thought there was a few things that we got to touch on in our life about consistency, but it was so brushed over because all we were just trying to do was just talk mostly about the life skill and the challenge and everything. So I really just wanted to kind of talk a little bit today just about the WNBF Bikini figure show that you did, because we did touch on it and we talked a lot about it, but I just feel like we probably could talk a lot more about it. And I'm sure, I just know that lots of people are interested in that whole thing that you did, the progress through it. They loved seeing the pictures and the photos. I don't even think I've seen the photos though, the actual professional ones.
I have them now. I've had them for a while actually, and
Okay.
I've just been, I guess, holding out to post them. Maybe this podcast episode recording it will make me post them.
I think you should.
I have a lot of pictures that I just haven't posted yet. I think more because I'm like, do I post them? And what do I say? I don't know. It's more like
Post and ghost. Just put it out there and people will be like, oh, cool.
Yeah,
There it is.
yeah, it's
because I know a
pretty
lot of
cool.
people were, talking about, and I got lots of messages from people because they knew that you were probably busy. Well, we had me, the boys, your mom came up.
Your mom came.
My mom came
Your
right from
sister
Prince
came.
George, so she came 8 hours. My sister, who lives there, she came.
We had Gabriella.
We had Gabriella,
Holly,
Joyce,
and Amber, and
if
my
I'm forgetting
friend
anybody, I apologize.
Rachel. My friend Rachel, and she brought a friend with her, Kim. I think that was everyone.
But then there was a lot of people that tuned into the live broadcast that
Yeah.
you put up there because there was a link that you could watch if you couldn't go. And I had people messaging me,
Yeah, I
just
had
being
no
like,
idea.
hey,
That there was this live link.
oh, you didn't? Okay, I thought
I
they
didn't
got
know
it
there
because
was.
of you.
No, I didn't send anything. I didn't know there was a live link.
Right.
So that's cool.
And that's the thing. So I just kind of thought there was so much that people got to see that day, but there is, I'm sure people are probably curious about what led up to it, your training process, your procedures, thoughts that were going through your head, when you wanted to quit. If you wanted to quit, did it entice you to do more? I know that, and if you do know that, this also led to the opportunity of attending the World Championships in November. And so your thoughts on that, maybe when you found out, how you found out, because that was even interesting. We didn't even know that until that day. Then all of a sudden, people are coming up to me and saying like, hey, we'll see you guys in November. One, I don't even know who these people are. And all of a sudden they're coming to me saying they're going to see me in November.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where? And they're like, Disneyland.
It's so funny. I think we should just like explain
Yes,
all of this because you're
exactly.
saying all these things and all these words. And
That's what I mean. Like,
yeah.
there's so much to like unpack with it.
Yeah,
So-
there was a lot that happened that day, and it's exciting, and it was exciting, and the lead up to it was exciting. The day of the show was exciting. It was awesome. So where do we want to start?
I think we start with roughly when you wanted to enter. People would even be interested in the gym that you used.
Yeah.
Like people think they need this big, fancy, high-tech
Yeah.
gym membership,
Yeah.
boutique, Gucci type thing. And if we took a shot of our gym that we've got,
Yeah, it's
it is
not.
nothing fancy.
No.
The fanciest thing is what, that Smith machine or the cables?
Yeah, the universal cable machine and the Smith machine is probably the fanciest
And
pieces of equipment that we have.
55-pound dumbbell,
And
that's
only
the biggest.
and there's not a lot of like incrementals in between there, so it goes from 5 pounds to 55 pounds, but the jumps are high, right? So like for example, there's no 17.5-pound weights, there's
Yeah.
no 32.5-pound weights. Like if I'm bumping up in weight, I'm bumping up a whole
Right.
5 pounds, which is a little bit tricky sometimes depending on the exercise, because I don't know if you've done resistance training and lifting weights, like you like to see the increase in weight. but it's hard when the increments are 5 pounds and not that 2.5 pounds. So
Yes.
yeah, it's just a big jump I find on some of the exercises that I'm doing.
Exactly. Yeah. So I just think there's like
All right.
so much. So
So
why don't we start with?
let's go a year prior to the show, because this is actually when it started for me. So I know I'm forever 29, but I turned 40 this year. And so I feel like at the mid last year, you start thinking about it. Oh, I'm turning 40. Like, what am I going to do when I turn 40? How does my life change? I don't know. I feel like maybe you go through a little midlife. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be 40. Like, I am 40 years old. To me, that's wild. I don't feel like I'm 40. I don't feel like I look like I'm 40. I don't think, it's wild to me that I'm 40 years old. So mid last year, I started thinking about, what am I going to do in this year that I turn 40? And the idea of doing another bodybuilding show was on my mind, and we went through a lot of big life changes last year, right? We moved to Arizona. That is a whole thing that we can unpack another episode, but it was a big thing, and it's hard. Like, you move countries, you move career, like jobs a little bit, your kids, everything. Like, it was a lot to go through, and it was hard. That's basically what I need you to know, is that whole transition was really hard for me, hard for you, hard for the kids, and not necessarily in a bad way. I'm just saying that it was hard.
Yep.
And so when things are hard, it's almost like I look for something even harder, which is like a good thing to do. Like, yeah.
All right. So even just like taking that in there, just sorry to like kind of break that up. You look for something harder. Now, is there a reason why? Does it make the other thing that you're going through seem kind of like less difficult, less challenging, or does it bring things into perspective? Like, why is it that if you're going through something hard, why are you seeking something harder?
I think
because that's an important skill set to like
Yes.
develop and learn to do. So why?
Because I was going through hard things in our life, and I was like, okay, well, I need to find something else that's hard, just to increase the practice of doing hard things, and just increase that practice of being uncomfortable. That's something that people, I don't think, do enough of, is put themselves into something that's uncomfortable. You must do that in order to grow, heal, progress, any of it. You have to be uncomfortable. I felt like in other areas of our life, I was being comfortable. So I needed to amp it up a bit, and putting myself in something like a bodybuilding show was something, it was exciting for me, but I knew it was also going to be hard, and it was just a mental thing for me to complete and do and be focused on, while other things in my life were also hard. Yeah, which seems weird, but it is. That was a big reason why I decided to do it. So in the fall last year, I was leading up, and I was, still kind of deciding if this was something that I was going to do. Like, would I have the time? All those excuses that normally come up when you set a big goal or you want to do something. You're like, oh, I want to get in shape, but I don't got time to go to the gym, blah, blah, blah. All the same stuff was in play for me. And so, going through the fall, I was kind of just navigating through all of the excuses that I was making for myself. So finally, at the end of December, I decided that I would do it.
Which is about a month before your birthday, right?
Yes.
Give or take, like around there, you were kind of looking at that.
Yeah, and I think it was, kind of get to the end of the year, you're looking at New Year's and New Year's resolutions, and I don't really set New Year's resolutions.
Well,
I
we
was
sit down and
explaining
we always kind of talk about
yes,
what we want to do for the year.
Yeah, and we talk with the boys about it and stuff. Yeah, for sure. So you're like planning stuff out, but I don't necessarily say a New Year's resolution, because I'm like, if it was something that I wanted to do, I would have started already. But the other piece of it is health and fitness related goals. I like to start at the end of January, because then all the New Year's resolution people have already faded out. And it's my birthday. So my birthday is kind of like my New Year's resolution piece, I guess. I've just always thought about it that way, because my birthday's at the end of January. So I started right after my birthday on my official 5-month prep in working towards the show. I mean, not 5 months. It was 20 weeks. So just over 20 weeks. That I did. So 4-month prep. Yeah. But I mean, if you look at like prepping for a bodybuilding show, I think my prep has been over years and years of consistency, of working out and building muscle mass and reconfiguring body composition. It's been years in the making. So I was excited and ready and knew that this was something that I was going to do. And I felt like, you know, just in the transition of our lives, I was missing a little bit of a leadership role or coaching role or teaching role. And so in a weird way, this was a way that I could, again, just show our students back home, women, girls, moms, parents, that if you have a goal, you can put the work in and do it. Like, you absolutely can. Everything that you tell yourself, all those excuses are just stories that you're making up, and you don't need to listen to them. So it was kind of like my way of putting myself back into a teaching role or coaching type role in a weird way. But yeah.
You decided December, and then you said kind of prep was end of January is when you started, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then what started that? Was it the nutrition what came first in terms of that prep? Like, was it like, did it all just sort of like, okay, today, February 1st, this exercise routine, this diet, this nutrition, this is what I'm following, this is the guideline here?
Right. So like, I've been in health and fitness for a long time, and so I've always been paying attention to nutrition and fitness. But when you have a specific athletic or performance goal, your nutrition and training has to change in order to support that, or it has to just support whatever goal you're going for. So my athletic and nutrition is going to look different preparing for a martial arts competition as it is preparing for a bodybuilding competition. So at the beginning of February, I had a good base for body composition, and so muscle mass, all of that stuff. I had a good base. So February 1st or thereabouts, just dialing in fitness or the workouts and nutrition, focused on the goal of stepping on the stage 4 months later.
So how much had to change throughout? Like, okay, you started, was there any point where you were like, I think I've got too much in my diet here, I need to adjust some stuff, or I don't think I'm lifting enough of this particular muscle group, I should change my exercise? Was there any change throughout, like tweaks that you had to do?
Yes. So I hired a coach, and the coach and I, we would work together on deciding what was there. So I should back up. So 8 years ago, when I did my first set of shows, I was my own coach. I have the knowledge. I know what I need to do. I have nutrition experience myself. So like, I did it all my own 8 years ago. And this year I decided I'm going all in. I want a coach because I wanted someone's objective viewpoint on everything. So my coach, she set my nutrition plan out. She set my workout plan out. So it was very plug and play for me. Like, I didn't have to think about it, which was great. But when I was thinking, oh, I have a question about this, or like, why this, or I feel like I need this, or I need to work on this, she was very collaborative that way. And we would work through, you know, what I was thinking, but she had that objective view that was so important. And that's why, like, having a coach in different areas of your life is so important, because they don't have the same stories in your head, right?
Right.
They don't listen to the same stories that you're telling yourself. They see you and your plan and the results, and they give you very matter of fact, you know, advice or planning so that you can execute.
Well, in a lot of ways, they just don't even care sometimes.
Yeah.
Because like, they've probably heard it 1,000 times from another person who has the same sort of, we all have these same stories, and it's just the same narrative, and it's just this, they've heard it already. So in some ways, it's just, okay, like, what are we going to do about it anyway? So who cares? Let's just move on from it. And they're there to like be a sounding board, but at the same time, they've got this, like,
with who I am, I don't really need a coach to be a sounding board too much. But yeah, just having someone's objective view on how my prep was going, like what my body was doing, and, you know, just the odd, you know, this issue or that issue, or the coach saying, hey, you should be looking at this, and like, why aren't you doing this? Or just like someone poking at me to be like, hey, this is an area for improvement. Let's work on it.
Okay.
So that was great.
Okay. I know we talked about this in the last one, but we can go through it anyway. Was there a point from February to June where there was this, not desire, but just will to even bother to keep going? Because I know a lot of people just, again, they see the end result and they just go, wow, that looks, we see that piece, right? And we go, oh, wow, that looked easy, or of course they can do it. But not everybody understands that people go through the same sort of struggles. How many times did you want to stop and just say, like, I don't think I really need to do this? Did you want to? Did you desire to? Did you think about it? Like, where was your mind in some of those areas?
Yeah. I think you have to think about it a little bit on a micro level. So like just getting up and going to the gym, that's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard because your body and your mind, they don't want to get out of bed and go work out. Like, so the people that, you know, are looking at it like, oh, well, it was easy. It's not easy. Like, and if anything, when I see someone that has like muscular body, or you can tell that they, you know, take care of themselves physically, like, I have so much respect for that, because it is hard to do. It is hard to do that. I understand it. So like there was many times where I was like, I don't want to go to the gym. I would say more often than not, it's I don't want to, like, why? Like, it is fun to go to, like, once you get there, it's fun. But like getting yourself there is always the hardest part. And so I find that for me, like, as soon as I walk into the gym, I'm like, I did it. I got here. Because then it's on autopilot after there, right? Like, as long as you walk into the gym, you're going to work out. Like, you're going to lift a weight.
Yes.
So it was just about getting to the gym. And so there's some days where, yeah, that was hard to do. I didn't want to get out of bed and get to the gym, or, you know, some afternoons. But I think because you start with a strong why and you start with the end in mind, those things will keep you going. It's not about motivation. Like, motivation is going to come and go. But you have to have that deep-rooted discipline that you want to be 1% better every day, or you want to work towards a big goal, or you want to improve yourself. So it's just about like self-respect and self-control and discipline, and those are the things that are going to carry you there.
Mm-hmm. See, like, that's the big thing I think people just need to remember. It's just like, just get there. Like, even if you just have to walk in, just the habit and the routine of just getting in there and just walking to it, I think that's when you just need to you just need to get there. Just go. Get your butt there, walk in, because again, just like you said, once you're there anyway, it's kind of like, well, I'm here.
Yeah, like
the
you're
plan's
already
in
there.
place.
Yeah.
Let's just get through this.
Yeah, and that's like, you know, having some habit stacking, or, you know, anchor habits or whatever, that one thing will lead you to do this thing, and this thing will lead you to do that thing. So like when I get up in the morning, if I go put on my workout clothes, that's going to lead to eating my pre-workout meal, which is going to lead to packing my, you know, my bag for the gym, and that's going to lead to putting on my shoes, and that leads to getting out the door. Like, you know, you just got to start it. What's the anchor for you to start that routine, right? So, yeah. So motivation going to come and go. It's that like self-respect, self-discipline that's going to carry you through having that big goal in the end. I told you before, we discussed it a little bit on the last podcast too. Like, I had a picture that I looked at. I envisioned, you know, winning a crown every single day. Like, that was a daily practice for me, was, you know, it just keeps it front of mind. And we were just talking about this. Actually, it's going to be on our little webinar today, but you are not who you are. You are who you're practicing to be, something like that. I just decided I wanted to be a pro bodybuilder. So I pretended to be a pro bodybuilder, right. Which is funny. Like, I did the things that I thought a pro bodybuilder would be doing. That's what I did. And so your identity can be a little bit fluid, right? Like, you can, if you want to be a bodybuilder, just start acting like a bodybuilder. If you want to be a world champion martial artist, just start acting like a world champion martial artist, right? Like, whatever you want to do, just start doing those things. Just start.
The workouts went through. We're going through. It's February, it's March, it's April, it's May.
Hold on. I also want to say that for 12 weeks of my 20-week prep, I had that neck and back injury that was very debilitating, and I worked through that as well. So like, when I tell you I have all the same excuses, I have all the same excuses, right? Like, it's hard to get to the gym. My body aches. My body hurts. I'm tired. I got 2 kids. You know what I mean? Like, I have all the same excuses. There's hard things going on in our life. I've got all the same excuses. It's just about, do you have the self-discipline, self-respect, the willpower to actually do what you say you were going to do?
Yes, indeed.
So, yeah, we fast forward, we get to June now. We finally get to the show, which the day of the show is like its whole thing in itself, right? Like, it was so crazy. Even the day before. So, because I have all kinds of appointments the day before, because you're like getting your tan, and I had to do a polygraph test, which was very nerve-wracking because I associate polygraph tests with a bad guy, right? But here I was having to take a polygraph test because it's a natural bodybuilding show. So I appreciate that they do the polygraph test, because if you fail your polygraph, you don't get to step on stage.
Yeah, you're done. So you would have done all of that stuff. Now, if you failed it, then it's probably a reason why. So you don't deserve to be there anyway. But
Right.
yeah, that's probably like because have you ever done one before?
No.
Right, first time.
Yes.
So
I was
first time you have
nervous.
to do one, you've got to. It's like, it's brand new, and all of a sudden they're like hooking, and is
Yeah.
it just like what you like?
Yeah, you had like a thing around your chest and here, and they're measuring your breathing. You had stuff on your fingers, and yeah, it was just like in what you would imagine it to be. Yeah, so that was crazy. But as you only find out if you don't pass. So yeah, I didn't hear anything, so I knew I had passed. And they have an athletes meeting the night before the show, and so if you're at that athletes meeting, you know that you've passed your polygraph, because otherwise they would have gotten a hold of you prior and said you can't go to the athletes meeting.
Do they like?
So.
Okay, obviously they're not gonna say like anybody not pass. Like, do you find that
I
out?
have no idea.
Oh, okay. Like, you don't even
No
know, like,
idea.
They're like, oh, 3 people aren't here, by the way.
Yeah, I have no idea. One thing about the show is that I went into the show, my only goal was to be the absolute best that I knew I could be. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wanted a crown and a sword, so I had that goal. But I wasn't thinking about how we talked about at the beginning of the show, was like, oh, you qualified for this pro show, or you qualified for LA, you qualified for World Championships, like all of that stuff. I wasn't worried about that. I was only there to do the very best that I could in that show. I wanted a crown, I wanted a sword, and where that took me beyond, it wasn't yet a focus. It is now that I have competed and done it. But I think that was just important to understand, is like, I went in just with the focus of doing the very best that I could at that competition, right? Like, you can't be thinking about the next step when you're only here.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you kind of mentioned that, because I'm going to pull it back to Taekwondo competitions and martial arts competitions in general. And unless you're going into maybe a kickboxing match or a cage or something like that, where you've got one opponent and that's it. Most of the time when you go to a Taekwondo competition, there's 5 people in a division, 10 people in a division, 8 people in a division. And there's this thing that they do with the Taekwondo divisions, and everything that comes out is a week or so before, a few days before, they send out all the draw sheets, and they show you, okay, you're fighting this person, your match is going to be in this ring, it's going to be at this time, here's the categories, there's 8 people in your division, and everybody here, and it drives me bonkers, because every single person comes up to me, and the people who have trained with us long enough know not to do this with me anymore. They don't even bother. But they come up and they're like, hey, so if I win 4 matches, I'll get gold, right?
Right.
I'm like, homie, you haven't even made it past the first one.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there trying to
I just have to win my first match and then like tie my second one, and I'll get third.
Yeah.
I'll get a bronze medal.
It drives me
like,
nuts.
oh my
So
God.
stop doing that. You got one chance at each match, and then you have to so think about like the one piece right in front of you, and then start thinking, or like, oh, if I get silver, can I go try out here at the nationals? Can I get on the national team if I get this? And it's
right.
like,
And they're thinking, okay, we're going to provincials. And then they're like, okay, if I get this, that'll get me points for the nationals. And then like, I just got to get third at nationals. And then like, no, don't. I mean, you have to know your path. Like if you have an
Sure.
ultimate goal to get to world championships,
you
of
need to know
course.
that.
But when you are going into competition, you are going into competition to give it your all, that competition. You're not worried about the next one. You have to be 100% focused on the event that you're at.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, like I didn't think anything outside of that. It was just like, I'm going out there, I am bringing my absolute best package to that stage today 6 times. Because I entered 6 divisions. So, yeah, that was just a piece that I wanted to mention. But then the show, or the day before, was kind of crazy with all the appointments that I had and getting a tan. Because if you've never been to a bodybuilding show, everybody is like tanned like crazy. So, had that. It's interesting going through peak week because you're trying to like get your body to be in prime condition for the stage. And we had traveled quite a far ways because we went from Arizona to Edmonton to do the show. And for me, it's always tough on my digestive system when I'm traveling. So I was dealing with a few things there, trying to make sure that I would just be looking the absolute best for Saturday. So it all worked out. We were able to get that under control. So that was good. And then it was show day, and it was super exciting when I entered 6 divisions. So the first 3 divisions were figure. And the first time I went out, I was super shaky, like on the stage, like everything was just shaking and I was trying to hold a pose. And I just felt like I was like this the whole time. But then after talking to you guys, you're like, no, I never saw a single shake. And I was like, really? Because like that first one, it was so nerve wracking. Once I came off that first one, I was fine, like just super solid, like super solid with posing, I felt anyway. After talking to you guys, it was like you didn't see a difference from the first one to the second one to the third one.
Would you say part of even just your martial arts training, do you think that probably played a lot of help in whether it was the posing, probably the nerves a little bit too? Like competition is competition. Even if you're doing certain stuff, there is elements to each one. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're playing ping pong, if you are competing in martial arts, if you are competing in bodybuilding, there's stress and there's anxiety and there's fear and there's all these things and emotions that we have to control. And so how much do you think martial arts just not only played with like handling the stress, the anxiety, all of those things, but also like the posing? Because like you're used to doing patterns, right, where you're putting your body in certain positions and poses, really in forms, and trying to like navigate all the moves and making sure like, and if you don't know, high level patterns competition, like everything has to be spot on. Like a walking stance cannot be, just no, it could be shy of a shoulder width. No, it's a shoulder width, and if it's not, you're dinged points.
Yeah.
So everything has to be perfect, and every move has to be just flawless. So posing, there takes so much stuff, and I think even me, like I don't probably appreciate it as much because I haven't done it.
Right.
But you do look at it and you're like, oh well, you can see the physical,
and that's
you
what
guys are up on stage for a while.
And you guys mentioned that you could really tell the difference maybe between me and someone that didn't have the same skill set in posing that I did. You could tell the big difference, right? I think my martial arts training really helped in posing because working with the posing coach ahead of time, I have this really good mind-body connection just from Taekwondo experience, athletic experience.
And your ability to go from like when they would have you transition from front to back to side and all the spots they would have you go to, your ability to go from the front and then to the side, but then kind of like pop into place was really cool to watch compared to other people.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't this like, oh, I gotta find my way there. It was just kind of your body just knew where to go. And just like me, just the way my mind works in what I'm used to seeing and stuff like that, I just was like, yeah, I could relate that to somebody who's doing patterns like the Taekwondo people.
Yeah, it's funny because we've talked about this on other shows, is like in Taekwondo, I would watch the world champions. I would watch those ones that are like super awesome, and I was able to watch and then just copy that.
That's right.
Right? So I would like see something, I'm like, ooh, that's the movement. And I was really good at picking up details. And I think that same thing came into bodybuilding now. So like I watched some posing. I didn't watch a whole lot, but I knew there was certain elements that I needed to incorporate, and I was able to do that. Like I'm able to see little things and implement them in my own body. And I know that's a very athletic skill. So yeah, that went really well. I worked with a posing coach also leading up to the show, so it was interesting working with her because she was like, oh yeah, like you can pick this up so easy. And I'm like, yeah, because I have
you were doing those
athletic
online
background. Yeah, online, not in person.
Right.
Which is kind of funny, but yeah, so yeah, that was great. And then so those first 3 divisions that I entered on stage were figure. I nailed all 3 of them. 2 of them were pro cards. So I won 2 crowns, 2 swords. That was so awesome. That first one, when I got the crown and the sword, I was like, I've done it. Like, this is what I wanted. And so it was, yeah, it was like mission accomplished. But then I got to go out and get another one. And so anyway, 3 first place finishes out of the 3 figure divisions that I entered, which couldn't have gone any better. I wanted to slay that figure competition, and I did. So that was so awesome. And then after that was the bikini, and I went out for debut bikini. I won that division. Debut bikini, I think it was. And then, but that wasn't a pro card. And then I went out for Masters bikini, and I got second. So, and that one was eligible for a pro card. So I'm not gonna lie, in that moment when I got second, I was a little disappointed because that's me, right? Like I don't go for second place. I go for gold. Mm-hmm. Like, and yeah, in the end, like back reflectively, yes, absolutely. That's an awesome job. But when I'm there in the moment, I'm not there to win second. Yep. So there was this moment, okay, they called my name for second. Or no, they call the winner for first place, and then they're like, and second place goes to Nicole. And I was like, oh. But that's me. I'm not there to win second. Anything I do, I'm not there for second place. I am there for first place. So, which, yeah, sometimes that's in all areas of my life, and you can attest to. It's like, I go for first place, doesn't matter what I'm doing. Yep. So to hear my name for second place, I'm not going to lie, that was like, oh, like, I didn't want to hear that. But we're all wired differently, because I know looking back, or, you know, just being part of backstage and stuff, like there are people there that are like, oh, wouldn't that be awesome if I could get top 5? I'm never going to be that person. Yeah. Even if I am a top, like if I am a 4th place finisher or 5th place finisher, doesn't matter. I am not there for top 5. I am there for number 1. Always. Like that. I just can't imagine having a headspace for myself where I'm like, okay, I'm going for top 5 this time. No. I go for first place all the time. Mm-hmm. And so it was sad to, you know, in the moment to get second place. But also my training in martial arts as a competitive athlete, I held my head high. I didn't let those emotions take over, because you are not your emotions, right. And you are not the gold medal, and you're not the silver medal, and you're not the bronze medal, right? So like in that moment, I am disappointed, but I don't let that show, and I don't want to take away the moment from the first place finisher.
That's right.
She won. She was beautiful. She had what the judges wanted. And I was, you know, it's kind of funny because in one headspace, I'm so happy for her, like so happy for my fellow competitor. At the same time, I'm really disappointed that it wasn't me getting first place, but I am a professional.
Yeah.
So
I think that's pretty normal. Like everybody, you know, they can be disappointed with it. It's just how they regulate it and show it and demonstrate it. Because I really like that too. Like, it's taking away from somebody else's.
Yeah, I'm not going to let my disappointment
Right.
take away from somebody else's glory.
That's right.
Right? Yeah.
And a lot of people want to do that because then what happens is like, oh, it's now me. It's
Yeah, so you'll never see me cry, you know, during a moment where I've lost, because you won't see me cry. Like, I won't make a spectacle, you know, when they're presenting those awards, or like in the ring when they, you know, show who's the winner. You won't see me cry in those moments, but there are moments afterwards. And we've talked about this before too, is like lots of times if I'm in a match in martial arts, like, and I'm not the winner, but I've put a lot of prep into that, I will never take away from that person's glory that just won, because they deserve it 100%. But after we're bowed out off the mat in the back corner, I might need to just release all of that, because it is a disappointment.
Yep.
Like, you are going to feel sad and disappointing, but I conduct myself with professionalism. Yeah. So same thing on the bodybuilding show. I got second place. I was disappointed, but I'm a professional. So I not let her, but like, yeah, have that glory, right? Like, this is her moment. It's not
Right.
my moment. It's her moment. So that's awesome. Get off. But I have to go right back on. So I had just lost, got second, but I had to go right back on for the next division and the awards in the next division. And that is a hard moment when you just lost, but you have to go back out there. Actually, it's kind of weird because you're like hanging backstage and you're kind of in this, they only bring out the top 5. At this show, they were bringing out the top 5 in each category and then awarding the medals from there, right? So we're all standing backstage, and I'm like, after coming off a loss of like only getting second, I'm like, oh my God, I hope I'm in the top 5. All of a sudden, it was like my mind had switched because I had lost, right? Anyway, they called me out for top 5, which was awesome. And yeah, and then so waiting, and the whole time waiting, I'm like, I don't know, all the things going through my head is like, I'm still there for first. I don't want another second place finish. And who knows, I could have ended up 5th. Like, you don't know at that point. So anyway, I won that division. So it was, yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Like, again, but I was worried because you let that when you have that doubt, I lost that last round, right? So now I had all these like thoughts of doubt coming into my head. I'm like, maybe I didn't do good enough. Maybe I didn't pose good enough. Maybe I should have done this better or that better or whatever. Like, it was weird being on the stage for that one after having lost. But anyway, I won.
Yeah, and even just when you were like, okay, but the 6 divisions finish, and then all of a sudden they're like, hey, you're now eligible to compete in the pro division.
Yes.
So then you've got to also collect yourself after thinking like, then you got to be like, well, okay,
Yeah.
now I got to go over here and I got to do this.
Yes.
And it was optional. Like, you could have said,
Yeah, I didn't have to
good.
do it. When you win your pro card, this is something I just learned all of this on the day. So when you earn your pro card, you have to now give a urine sample, right? So as soon as I won that first pro card, they had eyes on me. So they had someone watching me, making sure that I was only allowed to drink their water from that point on. I wasn't allowed to take my own water or anything.
and this is on top of the poly.
Yeah,
that you took the day before, and now
So now they do a
urine test.
urine test. So they were watching me. We go straight to the bathroom and do my thing. And anyway, it's a whole experience. But so do that, and then we do the bikini show. And then at one point, because I had won so many divisions, I kind of just had this area backstage for my stuff, because you win a lot of stuff, which was kind of funny. And it was all just kind of a big joke. But anyway, I was back there, and the lady came and found me, and she's like, hey, just so you know, because you just won your Bikini Open Pro card, you are eligible for the pro bikini show tonight. So all the divisions that I entered at this show were all amateur, divisions, right? This was my first show in 8 years. I'd never competed with this division, so all amateur divisions. But they had one pro division happening that night, and because I had just earned my pro card, I was now eligible to compete with the pros. So I remember the conversation backstage. She's like, hey, so just so you know, you are now eligible to compete in this pro show tonight. And I'm like, oh. And in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, my family's been here the whole day. I don't want to make them wait even longer. And I hadn't said that out loud yet, but I'm like, so when is it? Like, how much longer are we going to, when is it? She's like, oh, it starts in about 10 minutes. I'm like, done. I just made that executive decision right then and there. I'm like, well, you guys have held out this long. We're waiting 10 more minutes to do another show.
Hung out even longer.
So yeah, I mean, it was longer than 10 minutes, obviously, but then I had to do a little bit of, I had to change my buttons and all this stuff. Anyway, so then I get all ready for this pro show that I'm all of a sudden going to compete as a pro, which is wild in my mind. But I just was like, why would I not take advantage of the opportunity, right? So sometimes when opportunities present themselves, maybe you're not prepared for them, but you just got to do it. And so I did. And it went very well. I was nervous. I was also very tired by that time. And I could actually see in my body that my body was tired. So to give you some context, it was about 6 hours from the time that I first stepped on the stage to that pro show. And I'm in heels for all of those. And I'm just walking around backstage. And so one thing for me is I will not sit down, which is kind of a bad thing because you do want to rest your legs and stuff in between the shows. But for me, it is like a mind game for me. As soon as I sit down, my whole energy will come down. So I did not sit down. So I was walking around in heels for 6 hours. I never sat down backstage, never, which is for some of you 20-something girls that were having a hard time, come on, quit making excuses. You're telling yourself stories. There was just some girls backstage, having to sit down, and they were so tired. And whatever, their prep might have been harder than mine. I don't know, but quit telling yourself excuses. That's just, I wanted to shake some of the girls. Hey, you're stronger than you think you are.
Yeah, you made it this far.
Anyway. So anyway, I was tired by the time that pro show came on for sure. And I physically could see it in my body because at that point, there's just different things that are going on, digestively or whatever. I start to get bloated at the end of every day, or anytime I eat something, it's just my body and my physicality of it all. So I was starting to see just a little bit of my body change, even though I wasn't really consuming anything. But anyway, I just saw it, and so I was trying to take advantage of the opportunity, but not be too critical of how that performance went. But I did give it my all, except when I did, there's this little walkout that you do, and you noticed it too, is when I came out for that final walkout, I think you could tell I was done. But the judges weren't judging at that point. No one was watching me. And so I felt like I just kind of fell off at the end there because I was done. It was tiring. So, but then it came out for the result. You're standing backstage because that pro show was big too. I think there was 12 of us in that division. 12? There was quite a few. Yeah. And so you're waiting backstage to see if you're going to be called for top 5. And I didn't know. That show, I didn't know. It's funny because on the stage, they're kind of moving you around on stage. Yep. And we picked up, I didn't know, that early on, if you're towards the middle of the stage, they like you. So, but I didn't know that. And when you're on the stage, I didn't because I don't pay attention to that, right? Mm-hmm. I am there to do a job, and my job only concerns me. It doesn't concern the other girls. So I had no orientation, I had no concept of the orientation of where I was in the lineup. I didn't know if I was on the very end, I knew because there's no one else beside me. But once I'm in the mix of the girls, I didn't know where I was. Mm-hmm. So waiting backstage to see if I'm top 5 or not was I don't know, am I top 5? And then they called me out for top 5, and I was like, oh my God, I'm in the top 5 in this pro division, which was crazy. And they announce it backwards, right? So they're like 5th place goes to so-and-so, 4th place goes to so-and-so. And then when my name wasn't called for 5th and 4th, I was like, whoa, this is wild. Anyway, I got called for 3rd. So first pro show, I got 3rd place. I honestly, it couldn't have gone any better. I was, very proud in the end. But excited to keep moving forward. So all of that to say that competing in that pro division, getting that 3rd place qualified me to compete as a pro at the World Championships in Los Angeles in November. So
yeah,
that's where we're headed next, people.
You've got your pro card, you get the bronze, and you qualify for LA, and that's where we're going to next. What was that feeling like? Like, how did you feel like, okay, you just finish, and then they're like, hey, by the way, you get to go and do this now. Are you like...
I honestly, I didn't think anything of it at first when they said it to me. Like it was like it wasn't computing because I didn't, honestly, that's what I was saying is like I went into this show knowing I was going to bring 100% to this show. I wasn't worried about what was happening next. The show was my big goal, right? Yep. And then them saying to that, oh, you qualified to compete as a pro at the Worlds, I was like, what? Like, I'm like, I don't think they understand, but this is my first show. I was like, they must be confused. Like, honestly, I didn't think of anything really too much about it because I was like, I don't think they know what they're saying. Like, they must have me confused with somebody else, or not somebody else, but like they must not understand.
There's somebody else who won like 6 medals and 7 medals. And
no, but like they probably don't understand. Like this is my first show, so like there's no way that I qualified for something like that. So, and that's honestly, I think how I left that show because even at dinner and stuff, I don't think we had all quite put it together at dinner.
Well, I was asking you about it because people came up to me and they were like, oh, okay, you're Nicole's husband and she did great and we're going to see you guys in LA.
Yeah. And people were talking to me about it.
Okay.
And I honestly, every time someone said something, like I never confirmed or denied that I'd be there, but I was like, I don't think they understand that. Like, I'm not going to Worlds. Like they don't, I just felt like everyone misunderstood. Like, but it was actually me not understanding what I had just done.
Right.
Like I did not grasp what my performance that day actually did. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was not a thing in my head until, was it the next night that we were talking about it? Or maybe it was later that night when we had finally put it all together. I don't know. I remember we were sitting in the lobby of the hotel, if you remember, just you and I.
Yeah. And
we were eating those big colossal cookies.
Oh, yeah. Those cookies were awesome.
Was it that night or was it the night after? I think it was the night after.
That would have been after Misogi.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think it was that night.
Yes, so it was...
I was leaving the next day.
Yes, so it was a whole 24 hours later that we had finally, like, I had put it together that, oh, I did qualify for the Worlds, which was nuts, right? So, yeah, it was and then once it finally sank in, it was like, well, this is no question. This is something I'm going to do.
Yeah.
But then I will say that since then, there has been some, are we sure that I'm ready to do something like this? Like there has been, maybe those negative self-limiting doubt thoughts, that those stories coming back into play. So I've had to kind of fight some of those a little bit. There's also some validity to, is your body physically ready to do another show that quick? So there is some valid points there that, because you might want to like, okay, I just did a prep show. It's hard on your body. So maybe you need to like take a season off to just build and not be eating so much. And I don't know. I guess the expert bodybuilding coaches, that would be a question for them. However, I'm pretty confident that in what I've done up to this point and to continue it on until November, like, you know, just being really focused on a bodybuilding show, I'm not super worried about, you know, doing any damage to my body or brain in that time frame. So I'm confident with it. My coach is confident with it. So we're just going to keep trekking forward, and we're going to hit this world stage, and that's super cool.
Yeah, and I think we'll be doing just some episodes throughout just based on this, because that's, if I have to say, like, one of my regrets watching it all is we didn't
capture it.
Right. Like film it, like even just segments of little things.
Yes.
I'm like, I wish we recorded the journey.
I guess going forward, because I am going to do this world's competition, that's our goal, is to kind of just give you more real-time updates of journey to the world stage. We've both been to the world stage in martial arts, and now to reach the world stage in a completely different discipline is really cool. It's just something that is just wild in my mind, to make it to world-class competition in two completely different sports. Not like you're going to worlds for pattern sparring and breaking.
Right.
Or like you think about Olympic swimmers, right? They do the front stroke, backstroke, whatever. No, like two completely different things. I'm making it to the world stage. So that's something I feel really proud of, because like, yeah, just hard work, consistency pays off. I know we're not talking about consistency, but like, it's just been a topic of a conversation in so many different ways, this idea of consistency. And I've been saying it for a long time, like the number one factor in being successful in working towards any goal is consistency. I mean, you have to take the right aligned action and all of these other things, but if you cannot be consistent, you will not achieve what you're trying to achieve.
Oh, definitely. No, and that's just it. Like, I know it's funny because sometimes when we go through these things, it feels like we're on either repeat. I'm like, we just said the same stuff, and I like worry. But I'm like, it all comes down to those things. It's not flashy. It's not fancy. It's basic stuff. Consistency, discipline, just going there and doing it. And it's not fun. It's not always the best thing. It's not always the funnest, sexiest thing to do. But it is the simplest, most basic, consistent, show up. And so, yeah, we're really proud of you for it. And we're really excited to kind of see the next steps. And I know there was lots of, like, I don't know, we're like looking at like the dates, and we're like, oh my goodness, Ryder's got the baseball thing. And we're going to figure that all out and everything. And it doesn't matter, because it's just something that we just will work around and go through and do. And we're really excited for it. I think even I'm like, as I'm like going through it, I'm like, okay, well, I'll follow these pages just to be like, what does these events look like? Because even the difference between figure, bikini, and all of these other events, there's so much nuances with each one. Like even the suit that you had to wear was different.
Yeah, the suits are different for the different divisions.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
It's all really interesting as you kind of like peel it back and look through it and understand the different categories. And the same thing could be said about what we're already used to with martial arts. There's so much between the patterns and the sparring
or first degree, second degree,
seconds, and all of those things in there. So it's really cool. I know that we'll be kind of doing some more kind of, I don't know what we want to call these ones, just sort of like just talk episodes where we just kind of go through maybe like how the prep is going. Because again, if we're regretting not documenting more, I want to make sure that we definitely document more. And maybe it is like sit down things here where, you know, what is going on in the training at certain points, you know, 6 weeks out, 8 weeks out, 10 weeks out, like just going through little side pieces and just sit down and kind of talk about all of these things, because November is going to come by quick. As much as we might not like to think about it, it is going to come up fast. And I mean, we're already coming into August.
I know. Like one more week and it's August.
3 more months, because it's early November, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
right?
it's
Is it?
November 20 something.
Oh, okay. So we are like 4 months out.
Yep.
Okay. So 4 months out. So anyway, we'll be kind of like going through little pieces there. And if there's anything you guys want to know about or anything, just reach out to us personally. We don't really have a like a, direct, just reach out to us. However, Instagram or comment on YouTube or whatever. If there's questions you have about meal prep or what, she's done or what we've done as a family with this whole process and everything, how the boys are involved in all of this and everything too, because I feel like there's a big piece about them too that they're all kind of worked in here too. So if you guys have questions about all of this stuff, if you've ever wanted to do a show and you're at a point where you're like, I think that's something I would like to do, well, feel free to reach out to Nicole and ask what was it that you did first to get started on this, and how I'm at this point in my journey, where do I take the next steps? What questions, if you're a spouse and you're like, hey, my spouse is doing this, how did you support them? What did you do to help them out? Because there is a certain element too that I think, and I know this firsthand because I've had you for certain things in my life too, there is a great power when you've got the support at home.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Sometimes that can be tough too. Like, people don't think about that, not to be like, there's lots of stuff that we try to be there for too, and navigate and help and assist, but sometimes there's nothing we can do to help or assist. So anyway, guys, I really hope that you guys liked this episode here. We will be doing more of these and talking about these as we go along here. So if you guys did enjoy that, please, it would mean the world to us if you liked, subscribed, do all of those things on YouTube, all of that stuff there. If you guys are listening to us on an audio platform, please share the show here, because it does help us kind of get here. If you think that somebody that would get some value out of it, share it with them and just let them know, hey, this person went through this and they've gone through this stuff here, and I think that you could really benefit from hearing that message. Again, that would mean the world to us. So we thank you guys so much for listening to Off the Mat. My name is Josh Dumoulin, and this is
Nicole Stratichuk.
And we'll see you guys all next time.
Bye.